horse's mouth, as we are going to play you a soundbite from Akinwumi Adeshina, and then we can get straight into conversation. Please stay with us.
Let me now turn to the theme that I've been asked to speak about today. That is for the world to respect Africa. Now, the first thing that I want to underline is that respect is never a given. It cannot be purchased. It must be earned. And it is earned based not on rhetoric or request, but based on action, concrete action, consistent action over time. Saudi Arabia has oil, as does Nigeria. Kuwait has oil, as does Nigeria. Qatar has abundant gas, as does Nigeria and other countries. Yet Nigeria is the country, the largest share of its population living below extreme poverty line in 2023 in Africa. That is not a gold medal that we should be proud about. Clearly, there is something fundamentally wrong in our management, or rather mismanagement of our natural resources. It is also clear that if we continue to mismanage these natural resources, we will remain stuck. I have urged African governments to stop securing loans backed by their natural resources. And that's because those natural resource-backed loans are not transparent. They're expensive. They make debt resolution very, very difficult. If that trend continues, it will be a disaster for Africa. If we manage our natural resources well, Africa has no reason to be poor. We have $6.2 trillion of natural resources. So how in the world are we poor? We simply need to pull up our socks, stamp our corruption, and manage our natural resources in the interest of our countries and in the interest of our people. And let me say, the resources of a country does not belong in the pockets of powerful and rich individuals. It belongs for the state to be used for the benefit of the people of that country. There must be accountability on our natural resource. I wonder sometimes when people go around and say, well, I've actually helped, we put a borehole in a state, put a borehole and it's on national television. The very fact that you're actually installing boreholes is an indication of government failure, because in 21st century, every single house must be having pipe-borne water. So there's nothing to be really delightful about in trying to do that. And we should get away from this feeling of leaders feeling that they are doing public good. No, leaders must be held accountable for the resources of the people.
That was the voice of the President, African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, calling for an urgent action to end poverty and mismanagement of natural resources in Africa at the Guardian newspaper at 40 events in 2023.
And there you have it. You've heard from the horse's mouth, Akinwumi Adeshina, the president of Africa Development Bank, preferring solutions to all of the foundational issues that we're dealing with as a country. Of course, diversifying our economy and exploiting the natural resources, rather, that we have, well, natural and national resources that we have at this time as a country. Well, we're still referring to the most recent of our problems, which happens to be the food crisis, and some of the recommendation of the AFDB president, who says that what we need right now is not further policy tightening. Instead, in solving food crisis, the solution is simple. What we need is food production. So again, we're asking you the question, do you agree with the AFDB boss? What are the solutions can you suggest apart from what he has said? And what is your assessment of the commitment of the government towards solving the food crisis amidst the looting that have been reported in the papers a couple of weeks ago? Now, we have another focus for this morning, the pending court cases that have left many in jail and businesses stranded. The Guardian newspaper reported this particular headline. They're telling us that we have about 198,432 pending court cases at this time, and they've also given some sort of recommendation as to how to deal with this problem. So we're asking that with some of the reforms that have been suggested, do you think that the judiciary needs to expedite court cases, or what reforms will you suggest for the judiciary to expedite court cases? Did you also agree to some of the suggestions in the reported story? And also, these are the two stories we have for you today. And also, don't forget the Fuhad Saheed is with us.
That soundbite from that part. Helping, I think, to activate the agricultural sector, saying it, and nobody's going to transfer to the continent that was under the them have moved